Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a swatch party and we are going to be swatching the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette in today's video. I'm filming this on the same day as my last video, just slightly different outfit. So my voice still sounds like this. I'm so sorry. I'm trying everything that I can to get better as fast as I can because I'm annoyed at this point. I'm annoyed that I'm still sick. It's been like a month. Not really. It's been like 3 weeks. But it's still a long time to be sick and I'm tired. This is my actual favorite palette in my entire collection. I love this palette so much. I have used and abused this bad boy and I'm really excited to swatch it today for you guys. So let's just like jump right in. So this first shade, these shimmers just feel so nice. This first shade right here is called Poppy, and it is this, compared to some of the other shades in this palette, it is kind of like a pinky cranberry shade, but it does look red, but compared to another shade in the palette, it truly is pink. Next, we have the shade Citrine, which is this matte yellow shade, and this is a really gorgeous color. I love this shade. I have done an all matte yellow look with this before. It was gorgeous. Next, we have the shade called Phlox, and this is a shade that, compared to that first shade that we swatched, this is truly kind of like a red orange, and that makes that first one look more pinky. So next I have this shimmer shade called Awakening, and I have a hard time calling this pink because it really isn't pink, but in the pan it kind of does look pink. It's like this like kind of rose gold gorgeous shade. It's one of my favorites in the palette, but I just don't really know how to describe it. Next we have the shade Laurel, which is another shimmer shade. This one in the pan it looks a little bit more champagne, but on the eyes and when swatched it looks gold. And then we have the shade Aster, which is this really beautiful purple like kind of lid topper shade. It is again one of my favorite shades in this palette, and I've done some really cool looks with this shade. I love that shade. Next we have the shade called Glory, which is a hot pink, and it doesn't swatch the best, but on the eyes it looks really gorgeous, and that is a matte. And then we have the shade Azalea, which is kind of like a orangey kind of pink shifty like topper shade. It's super gorgeous. It looks pretty copper swatched out. And then we have a matte shade called Morgan, which is a really gorgeous kind of corally pinky orange transition shade. Next we have the shade called Agate, which again is a kind of, this is more of like a true gold shade, but it is so gorgeous. I love using this for an inner corner highlight. And then we have a deep like mulberry matte shade. This is called Clove. It is a gorgeous addition to this palette. And then we have the shade called Dandelion, which is another matte, and this one is more of an orangey yellow. Next we have the shade Jasper, which is this kind of burnt terracotta matte shade. I think that this shade is a really great addition to this palette and I love using it. And then we have the shade Morning, which is more of a yellow transition shade. I really like pairing that one with Morgan. The very last shadow in this palette is actually probably my least favorite. It's a gorgeous shade, but I think that it is just the most kind of generic. It's called Dayspring, and it's just kind of like a generic coppery gold shade. And I just think there's more unique shades in the palette. So this is my entire Natasha Denona Sunrise palette all swatched out. This is absolutely my favorite palette in my collection. I just love this type of color story so much. I think it is gorgeous. The formula is beautiful. Natasha Denona's eyeshadow formula does not disappoint. I think if you are willing to make the splurge, then I would definitely recommend this, but if you're like, oh, that's expensive, then don't get it. I'm sure you can find something else. I can't think of the brand, but there's a brand who has duped a lot of Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes, and they absolutely have a Sunrise palette dupe. And that is it for this video. Please like it and subscribe before you go, and hopefully I will see you in my next one. Bye!